Hello, brother! Got a cold. It's so funny, Jay, because I know that you hate tipping, and I knew that at some point in time you would have to make a video about it, and I've been wondering how you would do that without making yourself sound cheap. But I think you did a pretty good job. But I do have a couple thoughts about it. One, you and I both know that you would have to be the one who would order a chicken breast and a water at a restaurant, because that is an order that I would never ever make at a restaurant. Second, and I'm basing this on my recent trip to Texas, where the guy I was working for had this enormous truck and trailer that he was working out of, and we were in this claustrophobic nature that is every city. So basically what he did, Jay, when he got to the hotel was just went and found these people that could help him. And he basically tipped them in advance. And then for the rest of the week, anytime he needed anything done, they were all right there and very willing to help. So basically what I'm saying, Jay, is if there was a way to tip in advance and then expect a certain degree of service proportionate to the amount that you've tipped. That way, if you're going out for a really special night or something, you could give a nice big tip at the beginning of the dinner and then expect really good service for the rest of the night. But if you're going out for a really informal evening with just some of your friends hanging out, you could just give your normal ordinary tip and expect normal ordinary service. In this way, I feel like a tip does what it's originally intended to do. It serves as an indication of the level of expectation of service during a dining experience. It took me a good 7 takes to actually get all of that out in a way that made sense. But anyway, Jay, now that I've spent the majority of my video in response to the question from your video, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about today, and that is hobbies. Now, Jay, let me start off by saying that this is something that I know that I am biased about, because basically my business is selling a hobby, although I do think there is something to it. First off, you have to ask the question of what defines you, and the older we get, the more I feel like it's your career or your profession that answers that question. For example, if you've got a friend who's a lawyer and you're describing them to another friend, chances are you're going to say, oh yeah, that's so-and-so and they're a lawyer. Even as far as dating is concerned, after whatever initially attracted you to somebody kind of starts to fade, the other elements of your life will start to become much more relevant. Question is, what things do you do that make you unique? What makes you stand out against anybody else? And while not counting out having a personality to speak of, in my opinion, what's left is your hobbies. And the great thing about having a hobby and the internet is that there are forums for just about every hobby imaginable. So if there's something that you do and you enjoy, chances are you can find a group of people on the internet who do the same thing, who you can interact with and learn from. And Jay, I just think that that's the coolest thing. So anyway, Jay, I need to round off tonight's video because I've invited people over to watch Thursday Night Football and I am still making my video. So my question of the day is, what is a unique hobby of yours? And if you don't already have a hobby, let me talk to you about aquariums. And finally, Jay, today's outro is from Ireland, which I find to just be so awesome that people from different continents are tuning into our show. And of course, if anybody else ever wants to send in an outro, I can always use more, and I love to receive them. So if you'd like to send that in, it is supercarlinbrothers@gmail.com. And that's all I've got for you today, brother. I'll see you tomorrow.
You've been watching the Super Carlin Brothers. Stay insightful.